it has come to my knowledge that a lot of people don't believe that you can actually have communication and talk to the Most High yourself. Like, you don't need an intercessor. And I thought that was very interesting, because I thought initially that a lot of people literally just didn't want to deal, didn't want to hear really from the Most High or what I had to say about him or anything of that nature. And then I came to realize that when I say Abba Yah said these things to me, there was unbelief in him actually speaking to me. And then I realized that there's unbelief in terms of him actually being able to speak with people, and that's how true. And I'm just here like, who told you that? Who told you that Abba was so small that he can't communicate with you? What was the point of the Messiah, Yahusha, or Jesus Christ as some people call him? What was the point of him dying, if that's his word? He brought his word down so you can communicate with him freely. You don't need an intercessor. You don't need, intercessors help, but you don't need a person to connect you. You don't need to go to a pastor to pray to him. You don't need to go to a prophet like the old to actually have a communication with him. And the thought came to me, and I asked him, I was just like, so was your ruach not on everybody in the old where they couldn't talk to you? They had to go to a prophet. What made a prophet different from the everyday Joe that they could hear from you in such a manner, and the man or the people couldn't really talk to you like that? And he literally put it on me, and he said they weren't seeking me to have a personal relationship with me to that extent back in those days. I'm not saying that they didn't go and sacrifice and go to the priest and everything, but look at what I just said. They went to the priest to have that relationship. They went to the temple to have that relationship. They never actually tried to have that relationship with him personally like that. And that was the difference between those prophets and the everyday Joe. The prophets actually strive to have a communication with Abba, actually strive to talk to him. And I realized that a lot of these times, and a lot of people literally just talk to themselves, or they would ask you a question. This is just the everyday person, like when you have a conversation between two people. Some people will talk to you, ask you questions, and not really hear what you're saying, not listen back to what you're saying, because they're so focused on their phone or whatever their thoughts are on, and they don't really take the time to actually hear the words that's coming out your mouth. So with that, I realized that is what a lot of people, most people do. They literally pray and they don't have a moment of silence and actually build their strength and their belief to actually hear him talk back to them, because they don't believe that he can actually talk back to them. And he talks to us in so many different ways. He talks to us by signs, because signs help. They say signs are for unbelievers, but if you don't believe he could talk back to you, then he needs to use these signs. He needs to use car honks. He needs to use light switching it off and that kind of stuff. But if you believe that you were talking to the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then believe, ain't no other demon's going to try to come and talk to you or do anything to you in that belief, because he is not, as an Abba, is not small like that to actually let them do that. If you're actually calling on the Most High, the creator of all things, then he will speak to you. He will communicate with you. You draw nigh unto him, he will draw nigh unto you. If you seek him, you will find him. You will. So let's start off with, let's not put him in such a box where you think that he can't communicate with you. And if you are so strong in that belief that he can't communicate with people, then you need to repent and reevaluate what you really even believe, and if you even really believe in the Most High. Because what is the point of having a relationship? What is the point of sending his literal word made flesh? Remember, Yahusha is anything Abba ever said in the past anything he says in the present and anything he will ever say in the future made flesh. That is who Yahusha is. That is a part of who the Godhead is. So if he's actually sending his word so he can break stuff down for you, so he can tell you more and have you think, then why wouldn't he be able to talk to you? Why wouldn't you be able to question him? Obviously, with everything goes respect. You can't just question him, and you can't judge his judgments. He knows your heart. You're naked before him. You can ask him, hold on. I have a question. This doesn't make sense. I am confused, and you are not the author of confusion. So that means I'm confusing myself here. I need clarity. And he will give you clarity based off of videos that could be on your timeline. He can send righteous people to actually answer your question in that moment. Obviously, with everything, you have to pray to him. You have to communicate with him, and that's the thing. You have to ask him these questions so he can answer you. And he will answer people differently. He talks to you based off of your vernacular, based off of how you understand. He teaches you based off of how you individually understand. That's how true. So with that, you have to ask him, wait, how do I learn? How do I learn? And then in that, you can start learning how he actually communicates with you and how he actually teaches you and what he actually says to you. But we need to let go of this whole idea that Abba doesn't talk to people. Because he talks to everyone. If you draw nigh unto him, everyone. You don't need a prophet. You don't need all these people to actually have a conversation with Abba. You have to strive, believe, have trust, and have faith that he will answer you. And best believe he will answer you.